air thing isn't working, and this keeps coming up. And let me show you what happened at a McCain rally just the other day. Take a look at this.
In short, who is the real Barack Obama?
Someone yells out terrorist. At a Palin rally, someone yelled kill him. Shouldn't John McCain have had the decency to say that's not appropriate? We shouldn't be calling my opponent a terrorist, and tamp down that kind of vehement reaction. Isn't this what these kind of ads and what this McCain is, kind of behavior is engendering? And shouldn't he have had the decency to say, don't say that?
Here's the issue, Alan. Let me be clear about this. A man with whom Barack Obama, who wants
to be, and looks like he is ahead in the polls and on a path to become possibly the
next president of the United States, dismissed this relationship as a guy who lived in my neighborhood, when the records show, which were withheld for months and months, but the records show that have now been revealed they had
an extensive, collaborative relationship over a long period of time.
So there is why, when you ask the question, who is this guy, this is not guilt by association. This is illumination by association.
It is guilt by association. When you have a rally, though, and people yelling out terrorists or kill them, shouldn't the candidate have an obligation to say, you know what, that's not appropriate, I'm not running that kind of campaign, and you shouldn't be saying these kinds of things?
So on the one hand, you're criticizing the McCain campaign for Barack Obama's dissembling about guilt by association, yet you want John McCain to be responsible for someone in a crowd of thousands and thousands.
Hey, Mary, wait a minute. This is the same guy that sat in Reverend Wright's church, who said America's chickens have come home to roost. GD
right.
America. This is the same Barack Obama who said our troops are air raiding villages and killing civilians.
That's not all he said.
This is the same Barack Obama that sits on a board with, blurbs a book
right.
for, gives speeches with,
right.
a guy that's not repentant about bombing the Capitol and the Pentagon. And we're going to get lectures, John McCain's going to get lectures from some nut in the crowd?
You know what? One thing I think, just to put this in context, William Ayers is a figure in our history who continues to be unrepentant, and so his act has been repudiated. But one of the things William Ayers said that is as bad as anything else we know about him is the one time he did acknowledge what a great country this is. When he got off on a technicality for his murderous domestic terrorism, he said, guilty as hell, free as a bird.
That's right. What a great country. What a great country.
What a great country. Yep. Okay, these are in the circle of Barack Obama's confidants and friends in Chicago. His spiritual leader, Tony Resco, who's on his way to federal prison now. His financial chieftain.
The slumlord, the convicted slumlord. Let me take it a step further, because he claims I was only 8 years old, but he was 30 and 40 when he blurbed the book, sat on the boards, and gave speeches with the guy. Let me go through the list here. We've got Reverend Wright. I had no idea. I sat there for 20 years. We've got Father Flager. We've got Resco. Let me show you a video of one of the biggest racist anti-Semites in the country, Louis Farrakhan, endorsing him.
You are the instruments that God is going to use to bring about universal change. And that is why Barack has captured the youth. And he has involved young people in a political process that they didn't care anything about. That's a sign. When the Messiah speaks, the youth will hear.
When the Messiah speaks, the youth will hear. I mean, and why is so many people around him for long-term relationships? Long-term. He doesn't disassociate with anybody. He doesn't figure out these people are nuts at any time. And that's the problem. It's a pattern.
And then it's a pattern, and he dissembles when confronted with it. But here's the issue, and this is why the Obama campaign is freaking out. This is a young man with a short record. What we know of it is that it's liberal, and it doesn't do what he professes to be, bipartisan or reformist. So people are asking, rightly, when he's ahead in the polls with 3 weeks to go, who is this man?
We don't know. He hasn't accomplished anything, or very little, except that he gets a job, runs for another job. And, he is dissembling on his positions. He's raised taxes 94 times, but he's not going to raise them this time. Iran is a tiny country, not a serious threat. 2 days later, it's a grave threat because it's not politically viable, to be honest. I don't trust him. I don't think he's honest. Do you think he's honest?
I I don't really want to answer that. I think that it's legitimate to ask, what has he done? Who is he? I don't question his motives or really even his honesty. I just don't think he has the attributes to be a leader at this point in our history, and people are right to be looking at this issue now. These polls are not reflective of where this race is. Let Ellen know that.
The radical group Acorn, a report coming up next.